Hello, everybody. I see that people are popping into the Zoom. Welcome, everybody. And we've got our co-host, Kate Akoni, joining us from Toronto, Canada.
Woohoo! Canada.
Yeah, and I'm, of course, joining you from Waco, Texas, as you probably all know. It's great to see everybody. Of course, feel free to, leave your camera on or off. I've got some family in here. I see my aunt coming from Colorado, some friends, Michigan, West Texas, Maryland, Houston, Kansas City. We have the venerable William Perry, the starter of, is it Piano Database? I can't remember the name now of the website, but this very wonderful website where you can look up piano works. So yeah, I'm just so excited. We're just gonna let a few people join in momentarily. Look at those smiling faces.
Happy release day, Michael.
Thank you. Yeah, I ran extra fast today. I don't know. I decided I'll listen to my album on my run, and I did a 7-11 mile pace for 3
You could
miles.
really do a partnership with Adidas or Nike or something.
Yeah. Oh,
Olympic
and my
trial.
mother's calling in from Seattle. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I don't know what it was that made me run so fast today. Was I anxious about everything going on? Or was it just the music of Florence Price that inspired me? I could have, some of these pieces are a little fast, I will say.
You'll have to test it, Sarah, and see if, you and I will try tomorrow, see if we can hit a 7-Eleven.
Considering the fastest mile I've ever run is slightly above 8, seems unlikely.
It's the power of Florence Price. After this presentation, who knows what you can do?
Does anybody notice anything about this mug?
Are we all getting mailed one? Should we all check our
Only the
right now?
winners
One of the
of the
prizes?
quiz. Only the winners, the top 3 performers on the quiz will be getting one directly to them. Okay, well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're also streaming live on YouTube. So who knows, probably we're up into the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people streaming live on YouTube. So just keep that in mind. Keep your behavior appropriate for mass consumption. And today we're going to just talk a little bit about Florence Price. I'm going to share some about her life and about the album project. And of course, I'd be happy to take any questions. If you just want to pop those in the chat at any time, Kate's going to keep track of those and we'll get back around to those questions. And also in the chat, Kate is linking all the places where you can find the album. And if you want to read the liner notes that I wrote, you'll do that on the Novona Records webpage down at the bottom. I wrote some pretty extensive notes that I hope will add context, but I'll be telling you some of the context today. And then we'll wrap up with a quiz and, with the potential to win your very own album cover mug. So, let's dive in a little bit and talk about Ms. Price, as I like to call her. So Florence Price, so I assume, some of you may have never heard of her before I mentioned that I was doing this album. She was an American composer who lived from 1887 to 1953. And she composed hundreds of works, including 4 symphonies, 3 concertos, many art songs, and over 200 pieces for piano. Her biggest claim to fame is being the first Black woman to have a piece performed by a major American orchestra, which we'll talk about in a minute. And her music is very distinctive because she embraced both African-American vernacular styles and European classical styles to create her unique musical voice. She wrote in 1943 in a letter to a conductor about her music, and I think it describes it really well. She said, "Having been born in the South and having spent most of my childhood there, I believe I can truthfully say that I understand the real Negro music. In some of my work, I make use of that idiom undiluted. Again, at other times, it merely flavors my themes, and at still other times, thoughts come in the garb of the other side of my mixed racial background. I have tried, for practical purposes, to cultivate and preserve a facility of expression in both idioms, although I have an unwavering and compelling faith that a national music, very beautiful and very American, can come from the melting pot, just as the nation itself has done." And I just love that aspect of Price's music, that she embraces many different styles, and in different pieces, one comes out more dominant, and then another piece the other. Sometimes she just fuses them, and it just brings a great richness to her works. I think the three strands that come out in her piano music are African-American vernacular styles, dance rhythms like the Juba dance, or spiritual like melodies, but she also draws from romantic piano works, that tradition, as well as impressionistic piano works. So when I was just starting to learn about Price's music, I was just amazed by how many pieces she wrote. And by far, the largest number of those works are miscellaneous character pieces, over nearly 200. You know, the count is ongoing, basically. And the next most is waltzes. So as I was starting to look through some of the newly published pieces by Price, I just kept seeing waltz after waltz. And I thought to myself, this would be a cool idea to learn all these waltzes. And as I started to learn them, I decided, that might be a good recording project for me. You'll see also she wrote several suites, a group of 5 preludes, 4 Fantasy Negra, and her piano sonata, which is a substantial 3-movement work. So as I mentioned, I started thinking about waltzes, and she wrote 11, and these are the 11 that are on the album. And I just want to say that I was aware of 11 at the time I wrote, 11 that had been published. And as I dug through the archives, I found one that was yet unpublished, but there could be more. So I don't want to say complete with all definitive, I don't really know for sure, but what we know now, these are her 11 waltzes. And you'll see they don't all have the title waltz in them, like in Sentimental Mood or To a Red Rose, but the musical characteristics are of a waltz. So I had these 11 waltzes that ended up being a little over half an hour of music. So I decided I would expand to include some character pieces that have a similar romantic character. So that's where I got the other pieces on the album that you see here in yellow. Here's just a kind of overview of Price's life. Born in 1887 as Florence Smith, and she was a precocious young child. And I want to show you some pictures from these eras. So this is just to give you the overarching view of where we're going. New England Conservatory, some teaching time, a move to Chicago, a career high premiere with the Chicago Symphony. So let's just dig in a little further with some pictures I have. So she was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. This is about that time, 1887. I believe this is the oldest picture we have of her, so in her adolescent years. She was born in the Black middle class in Little Rock. Something that I learned about Florence Price, or while I was learning about Florence Price, was about the rich history in Little Rock of the Black community in the Reconstruction era. There was a great economic boom for the Black community and increased freedom. And it really, Florence Price's family were leaders in the community. Her father was a dentist. So she was born into relative privilege in that community. She took piano lessons from her mother and graduated from Capitol Hill High School. And she went off to New England Conservatory, which was one of the very top schools in the country. And she studied there from 1903 to 1906. She did a performance degree in organ and the equivalent of a piano pedagogy degree. She then returned to Arkansas and taught at Shorter College in Little Rock. And then she taught for 2 years at Clark University in Atlanta, and she was the head of the music department there. But she left that position in 1912 to marry Thomas Price. So she moved back to Little Rock with him. In Little Rock, she started, she resumed composing. She had been composing for a while, but she was teaching piano a lot to children, and she began composing pedagogical pieces for her students and started to enter pieces in competitions. And this piece, At the Cotton Gin, won a competition and was published by G. Schirmer in 1926. And this is her very first published work. And this year, 1926, is also the year she wrote the first 2 pieces on the album, the Valsette Mignon. So let's hear a little bit of that. here's another piece from that same year, Impromptu. And as you can tell from the title, it's carrying on that tradition of Schubert and Chopin, and it bursts forth with sudden energy. So going back to a little bit of the history, in Reconstruction era Little Rock, there was a great improvement in the lives of Black Americans. The 14th and 15th Amendment granted the right to vote after the Civil War. And there was, of course, greater freedom of movement after the ending of slavery. And there was better representation in government. There were 85 Black congressmen in Arkansas between 1868 and 1893. Some of them are pictured there on the right. But what is interesting, what I learned is that during Price's lifetime, a lot of these privileges went away. In my mind, I had kind of conflated the end of the Civil War with the Jim Crow era, not realizing that the Jim Crow era really reversed progress that had been made. And so, for example, the right to vote was being curtailed by poll taxes and predatory limits on who could mark ballots for illiterate voters. Freedom of movement was curbed by the Tillman Separate Coach Act, which was the first segregation law in Arkansas. And by 1894, there was no longer any Black representation in the Arkansas legislature because of the suppression of the Black vote. So because of these increasing hardships from living in Arkansas, one of which was being denied membership to Arkansas Music Teachers Association, Price decided to leave Arkansas permanently in 1928 and joined the Great Migration northward. That's what this map is showing, the movement of Black Americans north in great numbers. One piece on the album is from this time, 1928, and it has, its title is Pensive Mood, and it doesn't have any other description, but to me, it symbolizes some of the emotions Price may have been feeling during this turbulent period. And it's the most somber piece on the album. And let's hear a little bit of it. So Price moved to Chicago in 1928, but she had visited there a few times to attend music classes over the summer at the Chicago Musical College. So she had some connections there, and she immediately became involved with Grace Presbyterian Church and with a few organizations, the National Association of Negro Musicians and the Women's Organ Society, that really helped her be rooted in a community that wanted to play her music. So she really started to invest more in her compositional career. And at this time, she was starting to get into larger forms, and she composed her Symphony No. 1 in E minor. And she entered this in a composition competition called the Wanamaker competition in 1932, I believe, and she won first place for her Symphony No. 1. Now, at that time, Frederick Stock was the conductor of the Chicago Symphony, and he was very interested in promoting the music of local composers. And so he was aware of her winning this prize. So he decided to program her symphony that summer, June 1st, 1930, June 15th, I think, 1933, at the Auditorium Theater. And this was a really special concert, not just because of Price's premiere, but also because Margaret Bonds was the soloist on John Alden Carpenter's Concertino, making her the first Black soloist with the symphony ever. And Roland Hayes was a tenor singing some spirituals that night. So it was a really amazing night, and it was summed up by the Associated Negro Press in this way. The occasion was the very last word in achievement, for music achievement. For us, I got to move my Zoom thing. I can't see it all. Okay. The occasion was the very last word in music achievement. For us, the last word is the first opportunity. It was the first opportunity for such a setting. It was successful absolutely on merit, and it is the beginning of a new era for us in the world of music. So a very significant moment, not only for her, but for Black classical musicians generally. In the 1930s and 40s, she continued to hone her mature style and draw on more influences, more complex forms. And the longest piece on the album, I think, is Clouds. And it's probably my favorite piece on the album. There's a tie, maybe, but it's one of my two favorite pieces on the album. And it really shows the influence of Impressionism and really advanced pianism. And it was certainly one of the most challenging ones to learn on the album. So let's listen to a bit of Clouds. I encourage you to listen to the whole album, of course. But that one in particular, it leads into this big dramatic middle section that's totally different from the beginning. So Price continued to develop as a composer. She wrote 4 symphonies in total. And in the early 1950s, her music began to have an international reach. She was commissioned to compose an overture for the Halle Orchestra in Manchester, England. And she was unfortunately unable to attend that premiere due to ill health. And in 1953, she was again planning to travel overseas, this time to Paris, to accept an award. But she was admitted to the hospital with persistent heart troubles. And that was just 2 days before she was supposed to leave. And she died 10 days later on June 3rd, 1953. This is the last piece on the album. And we're not exactly sure when it was written, but John Michael Cooper, who edited much of Price's music, estimates it in the early 1950s. So that would make it Price's last waltz. And this is the tie for my favorite piece. It's on the surface, it's very simple, but I think it shows a real maturity and elegance. And a lot of subtlety. So I encourage you to listen closely to this one. Here, we'll hear just a snippet of it. Just a taste of that. In the decades following Price's death, only a fraction of her compositional output remained available, but her legacy was maintained through the diligent activism of musicologists like Barbara Garvey Jackson. That's a snippet of the very first publication about Price, a journal article from 1976. Helen Walker Hill, who wrote a book about Black women composers, and of course, Ray Linda Brown, who wrote the only biography of Florence Price, which was published posthumously in 2020. A major thing happened in 2009, and that was the discovery of a treasure trove of Price's manuscripts, which were long thought lost in a former residence in Chicago. Hundreds and hundreds of pieces were discovered, including every piece on the album were in that group of 2009 discoveries. Now all those pieces are safely archived in the special collections at the University of Arkansas. And through the efforts of Barbara Garvey Jackson and John Michael Cooper, many of these pieces have been published for the first time. These are some pictures of her actual manuscripts. This is the waltz we just heard, Waltzing on a Sunbeam. These are all pieces on the album: Pensive Mood, Rowing, Valsette Mignon. And you see she writes so elegantly. It's very beautiful, can be read off of these manuscripts. So just in summation, here's on the left side is Florence Price's life, 1887 to 1953. And just to show you this huge gap, the first waltz that was only published in 2016, and the last one was just published January 1st. So a huge gap in which these works were unknown. So I'm very grateful, of course, that we know about them now. So at this time, I wonder, Kate, have there been any questions in the chat, or are there any questions so far?
Your explanation was so clear.
It must have been.
Just,
Yeah. Are there any questions? If someone wants to, unmute, they're welcome to at this time.
I don't have questions. I thought that was wonderful, and I can't wait to listen to it.
Yay. Thanks so much, Chris.
I'm glad you did that first, because I have to leave at 6 and I didn't know there would be a presentation too. So now I caught that.
Yeah, but we want you to play the quiz, Chris.
Yeah.
Alas.
But no, this is fantastic.
You can't get the mug unless you play the quiz.
I know. Well, you just have to include a link so I can buy a mug.
Yes, maybe I'll drop the merch line.
Yeah.
Sarah Rushing is wondering who did the album art, because it's so beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. A man named Edward Fleming, who's on the staff at Navona Records, the label, designed it. So they asked, it was interesting. They sent me a questionnaire about my kind of like preferred styles. They had like previous album covers from that label, and I was supposed to rank my favorites, and then I could provide reference images. So actually with my friend Theo, who's on this chat here, and my other friend Arlo, I talked with them about ideas, and we found this Degas, ballet dancers kind of on the side that we liked. And then I found like the warm colors I thought fit the album. So I get sent some reference art, and then this guy came up with it.
Two people are wondering how you came across Florence Price and what drew you to her music.
Yeah.
Playing music with other composers.
Well, the very first time I heard about her was 2018. There was a cover story in Piano Magazine, and that was the first time I saw her. And I think I read the story, but I didn't listen to her music at that time. And then the following spring at the 2019 MTNA National Conference in Spokane, I attended a session on her by Linda Holzer, in which she performed several pieces. And so then that took it to a new level, because hearing the music, I was so moved by it. It was so arresting that I thought, gosh, I need to get my hands on some of this. I was finishing my DMA at the time, so it took me a while to actually do that. It was the next year that I bought the available scores myself. But then during 2020, I started playing Dances in the Cane Breaks. That was the first piece I played it a lot that year. And then over the intervening years, I started learning more pieces. And I think it was January 2022 was the first time I did an all-price program for the Katy Music Teachers Association in Katy, Texas. And since then, it's been a pretty constant relationship with me and Ms. Price. I just can't quit her. Well, maybe we should get into this quiz for those of you who are able to stick around for it. Let me find the right thing to share. Let me get out of PowerPoint.
As
I-
you share your
Mhm.
PowerPoint, Hayden is curious about whether you are working from published copies or the manuscripts or both.
Great question. The answer is both. Every piece on the album except for the Summertime Waltz was available in editions either by John Michael Cooper for Shermer or Barbara Garvey Jackson for Claire Nunn. And I got a tip off from John Michael Cooper that there was this other piece, Summertime Waltz. So I knew I needed to get that from the archives. But then when I visited the archives, I also compared every piece to the published edition. And there were a few errors that needed to be corrected, little typos. So, I'm very grateful to John Michael Cooper and Barbara Garvey Jackson for their work. But if anybody is working on a specific piece and has a question about this or that note, I do have some information I could share, to clarify some readings. Okay, so it is time for the album release party quiz. For those of you who may not know, I'm very into party quizzes. They're a staple at my birthday party every year. So you can do this on your phone. You can scan this QR code or visit this website and enter that code. And let's give everybody a few minutes to do that. Or not a few minutes, 1 minute can get okay.
If I'm allowed, am I allowed to join and then just not answer any?
I bet. Kate has seen the answers.
As much as I really wish he didn't let me play for a mug though before, so I a bit wish I had.
And
played
also
it.
this is, it's on the honor code because, you have the internet and everything. So please don't look up any answers.
No. There's too much of a time rush. Every
Yeah.
second you delay your answer.
That's
delays.
right.
Yeah.
That's an important
Your
point.
points.
Yes. So it's like a multiple choice quiz on your device. You'll see the options as well as on the main screen, and you get more points if you answer more quickly. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's wait about 15 more seconds to get everybody in here.
I'm not even playing, but I'm already nervous.
Okay, I see 8 thumbs up. Let's go on in. I think you'll be able to join at any time if for some reason you got kicked out. Like you see at the top, join at menti.com using that code. Okay, so there are going to be 6 rounds. 1887, Arkansas, names and titles, Chicago, 1953, and 66. There's like 3, 4, or 5 questions for each round. Here we go. And the top 3, I'm just going to say right now, the top 3 point getters are who get these mugs. Here we go. Round 1, 1887, the year of Price's birth. 8 players ready. Okay, we got 8 players. Awesome. Who was president of the United States in 1887? Was it Grover Cleveland, William McKinley, Chester Arthur, or Benjamin Harrison? Everyone is so fast. Impressive. It was Grover Cleveland, but they were all right in a row. I know I made it challenging, didn't I? Did that on purpose. Okay. Look at all these people.
We
Bran
did have the option to choose our names because you clicked through so quickly.
Oh my gosh. Whoops, I was
Everyone
like, these
figure
names.
out, I'm sure, who they are.
Yeah, somebody will have to. But can people see their own names?
I could see it the second it clicked in, but I have not seen it since then.
Well, tell us in the chat if you don't know who you are.
I
Okay.
feel like we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. It says enter your name.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Shall I give everyone a moment to enter their
Give
name?
us 1 second to enter
Yeah.
our name. Maybe. I do think their pre-planned names are kind of cute, though.
Yeah. Well, Bran the Broken, is that what it was?
I don't know. Yeah, where did they come up with
Flippy.
these? Yeah,
Cute.
an icon.
Okay. We think ready? Let's give it a try. How many states were in the Union in 1887? 32, 38, 42, or 48?
I think we need to have a consolation prize. So, like if you come in last, you can stream the album for free with the streaming service of your choice.
How would I arrange that? It's a great idea. It's a great idea. You know, there's no physical media. I can't like give away a
No, I
CD.
just mean we'll provide links to the album to stream.
Oh, yes, that's a
That'll
great
be the
idea.
prize.
That's a great idea. Okay, it was 38. Nobody guessed 32, but for sure it was 38. Okay. Who's up front? Oh, now we got names. Oh, Marty. Marty was my pastor in Houston, Texas for many years. We got Hayden from Oklahoma. Nice. Okay, Ted. I don't know, Ted. Welcome, Ted. All righty. 9 players ready.
Dun, dun, dun.
4 of these artists or musicians were also born in 1887. Who was not born in 1887? Nadia Boulanger, Irving Berlin, Marc Chagall, Georgia O'Keeffe, Arthur Rubinstein. 4 of them were born in 1887. 1 was not.
Who's your favorite from this list?
Ooh. Well, I know we got visual and music. I love Marc Chagall. I like the
Ah,
ceiling of the Paris, the Opera Garnier.
yeah,
Gorgeous. But I love Rubinstein. I mean,
of course. You're a pianist. You can't not.
it was Irving Berlin, born in 1888. Isn't that terrible? I mean, how could you tell the difference? But it's true. He was born in 1888. Facts, as the young people say.
Okay.
William Perry, all the way from Cincinnati. Okay, round 2.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Price's home state. How did that happen? Did
I
you
don't
see
know,
those?
but I loved it.
It's all a part of the quiz.
We love Arkansas.
10 player, we're growing. What is Arkansas's state nickname? The Volunteer State, the Magnolia State, the Heart of Dixie, the Natural State. These are all real state nicknames.
I wonder if the provinces have nicknames.
Ooh, yeah, up in
I
Canada.
don't
Don't
know. Up in Canada. Yeah, what's Ontario? We got nothing.
Maybe they have like part of a nickname, like the dollars, part of the US dollar.
Wow, we get 75%.
Yeah.
Or I guess we need more to compensate.
Yeah. Okay, it is the natural state. The Heart of Dixie is
How
Alabama.
does everyone know that?
Well, it's, maybe the Missourians are nearby. I don't know. I'm from Missouri, for
I'm
those of you.
seeing William Perry also celebrate license plates. Wow, Sarah's so
Oh.
observant.
Yeah, okay. Snuggles. That's
Okay, it's
cute.
getting competitive.
Okay, excellent work. Here we go.
Hayden's holding his own.
Mhm. Which book is not set in Arkansas? Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. Excellent book. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, Maya Angelou. I haven't read it. I know it is an excellent book, though. True Grit, Charles Portis, and Boy Erased by Gerard Conley.
Have you read True Grit and Boy Erased?
No, I haven't. The only one I've read is Go Tell It on the Mountain. But I
That's
know
okay.
the
I won't
answer. I
tell.
looked up the answer to this question.
Yeah, I trust you. I trust Google.
It was Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. The rest are set in Arkansas.
I don't actually know what True Grit is.
Well, there was a movie about it. I mean,
Oh.
adapted. Hey, Marty. Okay, Marty is a James Baldwin scholar. I mean, he's a fan, I'd say. So he's read Go Tell It on the Mountain.
Mm.
Okay, 10 players ready. But I think, have we been getting only 9
Yeah,
answers? Which river flows through Little Rock? The Mississippi River, the Arkansas River, the White River, or the Red River?
Does anyone know why we don't say Arkansas?
I think it's a French thing, but I'm not 100% sure.
Some of us do. I'm just curious, like, do they come etymologically from the same root, or are they 2 different words?
Yeah, I think our 10th person must not be actually here.
Maybe we should be saying Kansas.
Kansas. Yeah, right. It's not that we should be saying
Why are we
Arkansas.
changing? Yeah,
We should be saying Kansas.
that's right.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, anything to Say less about the state of Kansas, please.
Wow.
These old Missouri versus Kansas, rivalries go deep. But Marty's wife is from Kansas. Hannah. Maybe Hannah's participating too. Are they double team? I guess I didn't say
That's
spouses
true.
could team
Well,
up.
they'll have to share one mug if they are.
Yes. Yeah. Answer fast, get more points. What is the mascot of the University of Arkansas? This is the last one in the Arkansas round.
Was the University of Arkansas around at the time of Florence Price?
Yes. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe you. Seems like an old institution.
Okay. I'm just trusting that our 9 people are the people, and I'm going to move on. Oh, you don't think? Oh.
Well, because I'm 10 and I'm not answering.
Oh, silly me.
You're
Okay,
good.
great. Perfect.
Okay, Marty and Hayden really out
All
here.
right, fastest. He gets a crown. Or I guess the crown we already got. As they say on Drag Race, I'm coming for the crown. Speaking of which, not the last one
That
for Arkansas.
transition.
Which notable drag queen, winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13, grew up in Conway, Arkansas? Bob the Drag Queen, Evie Oddly, Jada Essence Hall, or Simone? These are all 5 pictures of.
Is this something you would know if you had watched? Like, was this a prominent?
Yes, it was a big
storyline?
deal. They always talk about where they're from, and she talked about it a lot.
Okay.
We're waiting on one. Unless we lost one. It's Simone. Great guesses, everyone. These are all winners. I won't spoil which season they won.
That's right. Leave some mystery.
Nice. Nice job, Ben Vandewater. That's my college roommate, Ben.
Pulling up. It's getting more even.
Okay, round 3, names and titles. Here we go. What does the B in Florence B Prize stand for? I was careful not to say it, I don't think, so far. Is it Beyonce, Bernadette, Bernice, or Beatrice?
I think there were only like 4 or 5 questions I was sure of when I took this.
Mm.
This is one of them.
This is one you were.
Mysteries.
Yeah. Oh, there's number 9. I'll never cut it off at 8 again. I'm cutting it off at 9. Ben, Peyton, Ted, Sarah, Nancy. Oh, what's that cross out? Oh, when I put my hand
Oh,
on.
just your mouth.
What?
Hayden took the lead.
So if I touched, what would happen? Okay, I'm not gonna try it.
Don't do it.
I love how it reminds us every single time. If I could get it to not remind us. Florence Price composed pop music under what pen name? CJ, DJ, PJ, or VJ?
What happened to this pop music? Did it get performed?
Yes, it was like on radio
Oh,
shows. Yeah. Kind of like Tin Pan Alley style music. Okay, we got 9 answers. Ted taking the lead
Why did
on
it
this
stop
one.
showing us the correct ones?
Is it because I clicked away?
I don't
It's
know.
VJ. It's VJ.
Ah.
You might have to be patient for the 30 seconds. Which is not the title of a piece by Price. She had some pretty creative piece titles, as you'll see. A Wee Bit of Aaron, 3 Kind Mice, Frills and Furbelows, A Sprite Kissed a Rose. Only one of these is not a real piece by Price.
The first one sounds like an Irish version of A Little Bit Alexis.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, it's the progenitor. I believe that.
Yeah. That's probably where they got it.
Yeah. Okay, if I wait the 30 seconds, then it shows us. And that's kind of fun because then we get to see how many voted for
Yeah,
each.
it's fun. See?
3 Kind Mice, fake.
That's what
I
thought.
made it up. That's how clever I am.
But now he has it on himself to compose this piece.
Yes.
I would like to hear 3 Kind Mice. Okay, Claire.
Claire, young childhood friend. All righty. One more of these type of questions. because I couldn't resist. So which is not the title of a piece by Price? Fairground Frenzy, Fine Lads, Mosquitoes in Convention, Whim Wham. I remember one time in college Bible study, I was reading the passage and Satan has demanded to sift you like wheat. And someone looked at me and they said, did you just say wheat? And everybody laughed. But it's what they told us to do in diction class. Whim
Wheat.
wham,
Wham wham.
And it's Fairground Frenzy.
I agree with everyone else though. I think Mosquitoes in Convention sounds like a made up piece.
But it's a real piece by Florence Price. So I did a good job of coming up with some, fake outs for you. Fairground Frenzy. A pretty fun little piece.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
good.
got it. Okay, round 4, Chicago. This is Price's Home from 1928 to 1953. We're halfway through this quiz, y'all. For many years, Chicago was the US's second most populous city. In which year did it first reach the number 2 spot? Okay, that was the same Bible study where we also had the passage.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
A lot to come from that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think everyone's answered.
Okay, well, do we want to see what the breakdown is?
Oh, you have to wait all the way.
Isn't that annoying? I know. We
Yeah,
gotta,
it is annoying.
I'm using the premium version of Mentimeter and we can't race through this. I could have, for the future, I'll make it like a 20-second quiz. Okay, it was 1890. A lot of people got it. Amazing work, everyone.
Ever since the James Baldwin question, I've had Go Tell It on the Mountain stuck in my head. I feel
Yeah.
I'll have to go play your album after this to kind of clear. my head.
Yes. Okay, here we go. In which year did Los Angeles surpass Chicago to become the second most populous city in the United States? Was it 1964, 1974, 1984, or 1994? There was
Have you
probably
been to
somebody born
Chicago?
in each of those years on this call.
Wow.
Maybe not. Maybe streaming on YouTube, certainly.
Is there Florence Price research to be done in Chicago?
Yes, there's some pieces at Chicago Musical College, or it has a new name these days.
Oh, you've got to go.
It was 1984. One person got it. Let's see who it was. Hannah. I assume that's Hannah Troyer, but it could be. I know some other Hannahs. Hannah Smashy. Amazing.
Mystery Hannah's.
Hannah Abbott, advocate of women composers. Which movie is not set in Chicago?
Hannah Troyer.
Chicago. That's my pastor's wife. Home Alone, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, RoboCop. I want to see what they said on this one. We got to hold out.
Got to hold out.
3 of these were set in Chicago. It's good that I reduced it from a minute, though. Gee whiz.
Yeah, a minute would be quite a test.
Okay, but everyone's so eager to get it right, or to get the most
Right.
points. RoboCop, it was. Everybody knew that Chicago was set in Chicago.
Everyone's so smart. Context clues.
Incredible.
I think it would have been funner if it was Chicago, though.
Yeah. Well, you might say it was set in Roxy Hart's imagination.
Oh, great point. I would have been so mad if you had selected that.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah. All right. What a great movie. It holds up, I will say. All these
I
years.
should rewatch. It's been a long time.
Chicago's Willis Tower was the world's tallest building from 1973 to 1998. Where is the world's tallest building now? This is a height comparison graphic. So the Willis Tower, and I've whited out the name and location of the other one. It's so big. It's insane.
I just must say that the CN Tower is quite tall, too.
Oh,
But
that's
not
what
as high as
it
that
went
one.
straight to it. Oh, maybe if you answer too.
I didn't answer.
No, I
But
don't know.
I can try that next time.
Yeah, but the CN Tower is taller. It's like because it's taller than the Willis Tower, but it's like it has to do with not being habitable all the way up. That's like a
Yeah, I
different
know there's just like
category.
a spire.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the building in Dubai is the tallest of them all, any type of way you measure it.
Big.
Everybody got it. Incredible.
Everyone got it.
Round 5, 1953, the year of Price's death. Who was the president of the United States in 1953? A little bit of, formal similarity here.
1953 doesn't feel that far away to me, but it really was now.
Yeah. Is that 70 years?
Yeah.
Maybe try answering.
Okay, I'll answer. Does that help?
Perfect. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Amazing. Who's pulling a lead? Okay, Marty's still in the lead.
I
We got
think
some
it's still
shakeup.
pretty competitive. The difference
Kate,
in
I like
points
that
is
way
not
to
so far.
spell your name. You're a cater girl.
I'll legally change it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you went from Katie to Kate to
That's right.
Kate. What was
Yeah.
the highest rated television show in the US in 1953?
Was
Dragnet.
this the most watched or the best rated?
Oh, most
highest
watched,
critic
like,
review?
like Nielsen ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Jackie Gleason show, I Love Lucy, in the $64,000 question.
What is the $64,000 question?
Probably was a different one every time. I Love Lucy is the answer, but the others were all legit, highly rated shows of around those years. So everyone else who guessed that.
64,000 so specific.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like a doubling situation.
Yeah.
Or like,
I just
remember
mean,
Who
I
Wants
feel
to
like
Be a
we
Millionaire?
have everything exactly as millionaire. And
Yeah.
then
Wonderful. Brilliant. Which Best Picture winner won the Oscar for 1953? So all of these were Best Picture winners, but which was the 1953 film that won the Oscar?
have you seen all these movies?
I've seen only the winner. I mean, this one From Here to Eternity is the one I've seen. Have I even seen it? Maybe I'm wrong.
They
may
have the
seen-
famous scene. I feel like if you've seen that scene, then you've
Yes.
basically seen it.
Yeah. Neither of those people were born in that year, but their knowledge runs very deep. Okay. And we're on a little tangent here related to this topic. The 5 stars of From Here to Eternity were all nominated for Oscars. Which 2 of them won that year? You can only pick one answer, but if you pick either of the 2 that won, you'll get credit for it. Was it Montgomery Clift, Deborah Carr, Burt Lancaster? Lancaster, I'm just saying it like Pennsylvania. Burt Lancaster, I assume. Donna Reed and Frank Sinatra. It was Donna Reed and Frank Sinatra, the supporting players, won Oscars for
Was
that year.
Sinatra an EGOT?
It's a great question. I doubt he had a Tony.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay. Now, this is my kind of trivia, this next one. For many years, Deborah Carr held the record for the actress with the most Oscar nominations without a win, which is 6. But who holds it now with 8 nominations and no win? Amy Adams, Annette Bening, Glenn Close, or Judi Dench?
Frank Sinatra has an honorary doctor of engineering
Oh, that's
and an
cool.
honorary citizen of Chicago.
It's Glenn Close. Oh my gosh, it's hard to, of the top 5 most painful moments of my life was her Oscar loss in 2018.
Which one was that for?
The Wife.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And everyone thought she was going to win. That's what made it so painful. Ugh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I moved on. I'm trying to move on.
Have you though?
Okay, round 6, final round, 66. That was the age Price was at the time of her death.
So
Which
young.
one of these composers lived past the age of 66? Was it Beethoven, Brahms, Liszt, or Robert Schumann? We know that Clara Schumann sure did.
I don't actually know how old she was.
She definitely lived to be old.
Yeah, she was old, but I don't have a number in my head.
It was Franz Liszt. He lived to be 75. Or actually, I think it was 74. The years look like 75, but I checked the dates and it's 70. All righty, some list scholars in the group.
You're really favoring the musicians now, helping us get an edge.
We got everyone's a music lover on this call, I'm pretty sure.
Well, why would we be here?
Yeah. Which celebrity is currently 66? Katie Couric, Julianne Moore, Oprah Winfrey, or Vanna White? White.
Were you disappointed by the May December snubs?
Oh, I was crushed. I was sad about it. I thought they were all so great.
They really
And I've
are.
seen 8 of the 10. It's Vanna White. Can you believe it? It's true. She's about to turn 67, but today she's 66. Yeah, I've seen 8 of the 10 Best Picture nominees. They're all very good, but I would put May December above a couple of them. Like
Which ones?
American Fiction and The Holdovers, maybe even The Zone of Interest.
Those are the 3 I haven't seen.
Oh my gosh, you've seen that many too? Look at you.
I've seen a decent number. I've been working on it.
Yeah. I still need to see Past Lives, but it's on Paramount Plus now, and I need
Very
to see
nice.
Poor Things. But I'll be seeing them shortly.
Did not like Poor Things.
Okay. Top 1, Oppenheimer and Anatomy of a Fall. Loved Anatomy of a Fall.
I loved Anatomy of a Fall.
It's like
Okay,
when I do a
okay.
peace sign, is that when I get balloons? No. When I do number 1? Okay, I don't know. Oh, in non-leap years, what is the 66th day of the year? This one you have to type it in, just the number. March blank.
I made Andrew do this for fun.
Ooh, and did he get it? Don't say the answer, but yeah, this one
Maybe
takes
not.
time. Thank
I
you, coach.
coached. And then he got it.
This one I gave a minute for. I may live to regret it, but
Well, it'll go sooner if we all come up with it sooner. So I think it's good.
Yeah. we're doing, we're actually doing great on time.
Oh, we're killing it.
What do you think? What do you think? I counted it through. I looked at a calendar and I know that Kate came to the same answer. The correct answer is 7. Now, what is this graphic that I'm looking at
It's
right
kind of
here?
fun though. It looks like one,
Okay,
two, three, four,
it must be like the font and the black,
I think 3 people got it, Chris.
yeah. Mentee fail. Mentimeter fail. Okay, Ben was a math minor. I'll just say that right now.
Is it supposed to be like you're mentoring people?
I don't, I mean, good
Like,
question.
let's measure how much we are mentoring.
Here is the last question, y'all. Counting from the bottom, what is the 66th key on the piano? Now, the way they're labeled, middle C is C4.
Are people
So-
allowed to go to their piano and count?
I guess. If you
You have one available here.
just zoom in on Kate's piano. That'll
That's
solve
right.
it
Feel
for you.
free, everyone.
So like C6 is 2 octaves above middle C, if you're wondering about that. Ben is counting so hard right now. Theo too, I bet. Is Theo participating or no? Maybe he had to leave. Or is he Ted?
That would be cute. Also very Schitt's Creek. Look at everyone.
Oh my gosh, 5 people got it. Amazing.
5
It's
people were
6.
able to count on their piano.
Incredible. Wow, what are the final results?
I'm so nervous.
Oh my gosh. To write this down. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Who is Ted?
Who is Ted? Ted,
It's
reveal thyself.
Then Marty, and then Hayden. Am I saying that right?
Do you think your quiz was misogynistic?
Because only men.
Why did
Congrats,
3
Hayden.
men win?
Ted, it could be that Ted
Theo
is
is
streaming
Ted. No,
online.
Theo
Or
is
just-
Ted. Hayden,
Theo
do you
is
have any
Ted.
way to
Okay.
count for your victory?
Amazing.
Any tips for future players?
Yeah, Theo, an acceptance speech, please.
Yeah. Anyone want to comment?
No.
Theo has a comment.
Okay.
If you know Michael, you'll hear a lot about Glenn Close and various things like that. That's like the only thing.
Yeah,
That's a
the
really
advice
good
is
tip.
to listen to me. Okay, that's that. Well, and also Theo has taken, I think 3 or 4. There was a 30th birthday quiz. There was a like a going away party quiz, for Houston. There was a 31st birthday. No, but that was the same as the 30th.
Hayden
It was the
credits his
32nd birthday.
victory to quickly guessing.
That could be it too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of strategy. So anyway, all I have to say, I'm very grateful to all of you for being here. I want to remind you of where you can hear the album. You can stream it on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music. Navona Records is the label, and that's where you'll want to go to read the program notes. They're down at the bottom of that webpage. You expand the chart there. And I do really hope you'll enjoy this music. It's a labor of love for Florence Price. And as a reminder, it's only a kind of sliver of her musical style. It's kind of her romantic vein, but she writes a lot of other music that more directly involves African-American vernacular styles. So there's a lot of great stuff to check out. Are there any final questions from anyone? Well, this was so much fun. Thank you for tuning in. And now I'm going to go to the live in-person party. So,
Ooh,
thanks for
enjoy.
joining us, everyone.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
night.
Thanks,